Hello, everybody. It is me, Demetri Kane. I hope that you are having a great day. I should say that the purpose of the Demetri K Show is to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people with the emphasis on even because we're great people, but we can always strive to do better. Like I said, Big Giant, thank you, hello, and welcome to YouTube and Facebook. You are the other side of the conversation. Also, thank you to my wonderful moderators for all that you do and holding down the comment section. It is much appreciated. Love you dearly. So today we're going to be having a really good conversation. We always do, I think. Sometimes we hit and miss, but I think for the most part, we have pretty good conversations. So we're going to continue on with the theme of, the war, the conflict, but Black America is under siege by the enemy within. We're going to be talking about an elderly woman being harassed. I kind of had to water down the title just a little bit for YouTube and potentially Facebook purposes. But I'm going to show you all a video and we're going to have a discussion because this is a discussion that needs to be had. It's disturbing. The video's it's not like over the top, but disturbing enough, right? So we're going to get into all of that. But while we're waiting for everybody to come on here, of course, there's a couple of things here. Just want to let you know that we will be in Ohio Black Expo in May 23rd, which is a Saturday, where Brother Phil and I so far will be representing the African Diaspora News Channel. They had us out there last year and they're going to have us this year. They really like us and we love that. So in order for you to see us in Columbus, Ohio, please go to ohioblackexpo.com, ohioblackexpo.com, so that we can have a wonderful live and in-person conversation with you. I cannot wait to meet you all there. And of course, in the summer, we will be in Toronto, Canada with the ADNC Narrative Power Summit, where it will be our Brother Phil, myself, Sister Emma, Brother Theo, just a whole host of people. It's going to be a great event. You do not want to miss this. And I know there's some places in the United States that's relatively close, like driving distance, right? But you might want to fly out. I have to fly out, right? So please get your tickets at africandiasporanews.org/Canada, africandiasporanews.org/Canada to get your tickets. And they're selling pretty fast from what I understand. So you might want to get your ticket now because I'd hate for you to miss it. So let's see who's in the chat before we get started. King Noble, how you doing? Doug, what's going on? I think I saw all of y'all earlier. Y'all can catch me again on African Diaspora News Channel, 11 a.m. tomorrow. Albie Chill, how you doing? I saw you. Mike Nice, I saw you as well. Lawrence, well, how you doing? I am doing great. I cannot complain. I'm a little bit tired as I am observing Ramadan. So for those of y'all who are observing Ramadan Mubarak. Just a little tired. I got up early, went to the gym and all of that. So I can't wait to eat. But the crazy part is when it's time for me to eat, like right now, I'm like, I'm gonna eat this, I'm gonna eat that. Yeah, I'm gonna have me some of this, I'm gonna have me some of that. Yeah. And I get my plate, I'm like, I'm full. I can't. So anyway, JJ, how you doing? Kevin, what's going on with you? Ursa, what is up? Sister Sunlight, hope that you're doing well. And Buck Horse, how are you? And I think I've said hello to everybody so far. Okay, let's get into it for the sake of time. Okay. Oh, I see some more people. Brian, how you doing, Mr. South Carolina? Edward, what's going on with you? Randolph, hope you're doing well. Yes, indeed. Sunlight and Capcom, what's going on? And Nama, y'all names are all squashed together, so forgive me. Hello. Okay, so let's get into it. Candy, how you doing? I saw this video earlier, and so then I didn't really pay much attention to it, and I kept seeing it. I was like, okay, well, what's really going on here? So unfortunately, it's a situation where the elderly lady, I'm not quite sure where in America it is, but it's at a Walmart nevertheless. So what you're going to see is an elderly woman, a black woman, she pulled into a handicapped stall, and then you're going to see a younger black couple, assault her, for lack of better words, because I guess the allegation is that maybe she backed into them as they were walking past the car. And then you're going to hear the conversation and all that, and then we'll come back and have a discussion about it. So here we go. What's going on over there?
I recorded what happened, and she was like all up on him. I don't know what.
Did you call the police?
Tell us what happened.
Yeah, what happened? It's okay. I'm gonna call the police.
You say you didn't. You say you didn't see them.
You say right here. No, you say right here. Yeah, I need a police at
God.
Walmart in Richmond Park. This lady was just attacked, and I saw the lady hitting on her.
I even recorded it.
You're not. You okay? You okay? Because if she come out here, I'ma whoop ass.
No, please.
You just wait.
Babe, you did not deserve that at all.
No, the lady went inside of Walmart. Yeah, but I thought that this was somebody that she knew.
No.
But she don't even know this lady. She was just she reached in the car. I was parking, and then
she
the
literally
lady
grabbed her.
The lady right here, she recorded it.
Just as I thought, they're being arrested.
So again, it said Richmond Park, so wherever that is, Richmond Park. But again, sounds like and this is, I'm gonna say all alleged because I wasn't there, but just going by what I saw, and I should give video credit to Melissa. That is her name on Instagram. But allegedly, the elderly woman, I guess she was backing out, and she says, I didn't see them, so she didn't see them. But apparently, the younger woman became unglued because it sounds like maybe she bumped into the guy, but the younger woman came unglued, and as you heard and you saw, she was all up in the lady car, and the people who were filming it said they saw her put her hands on her, like grab her up, and all of that. So of course, as they were leaving, said, "You're bogus," and the lady was like, "I didn't see you," or whatever. So at the end there, you saw her go to jail. Now, Brian, I see you said that basically calling the police on, I guess, black people's death sentence. What do? You know what I mean? So nevertheless, very hard to watch. I had a mom once. She's gone on, and she, was about that lady's age. When my mom passed, she was 67. And when I saw that, it just really disturbed me because that really could be anybody's mom. It could be anybody's grandmother. My mom was a great grandmother, auntie. It could be anybody. And so, unfortunately, people make mistakes, but if they felt like she ran into them or whatever it was, just call the police or exchange insurance or whatever it is, right? But again, she said she didn't see them, but I didn't know. They didn't seem like they were too disturbed about it because they didn't, stop and get her information. They went into the store, but just the optics of that, to where the younger man, he had to grab the girl up off of her. So it's like, what would happen if he didn't grab her off of her? Was you gonna beat this lady up? You know what I mean? Like, have we gotten to that point to where we have no respect for the elderly? And I know somebody's gonna say, "Oh, you got to show respect to get respect." I get all of that, but how far was she willing to go? You know what I mean? And I'm really driving this point home about the war in our community. I want to put this up because this actually is the direction I'm going now is inspired by this year's Savior's Day address from the Nation of Islam. So this was part 3, but so 3 parts. The first one was actually February 26th, the day of Savior's Day in Detroit. That was delivered by student minister Ishmael Muhammad. The second one as well. And then the third one by Brother Daniel Muhammad, all phenomenal. All of them were phenomenal. But basically it says we must make our community a decent and safe place to live. That is the call from Savior's Day. And it was given by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan to them, to deliver this to the rest of us. And so keeping in line with we must make our community a decent and safe place to live, we have to get back to things like this, because I don't know how we got here as a society. I always tell y'all my age. I'm not one of those women who like you. I'm not gonna tell you my age. I'm 30 plus 25, so I'll be 55 soon. So, back in my day, yeah, we had some kids that were wayward or whatever it is, but I can't personally recall hearing stories like this. I'm not saying they didn't happen, they did, and maybe because it wasn't social media and stuff like that. But I just wonder how we got here to where our elderly are really no longer safe. Now, I hear about stories all the time, especially from Brother James. He emails me quite a bit. He's in Chicago, and he sends me different stories all the time. And not just Chicago, but a lot of inner cities. Our elderly people are afraid to leave the house. They're afraid to leave the house because they're afraid of being accosted, robbed, or whatever it is. And that's why I titled it from the enemy within. Okay, as we know, there is a war going on overseas between the United States, Israel, and Iran. Doesn't seem like United States and Israel are doing that well, because Iran is like, if you think we came to play with you, we have not, right? There's even stories now that Iran has placed mines, like landmines, kaboom, in the Strait of Hormuz. So basically, they're like, ain't nothing moving through here. If something moved through here, you try to anyway, yeah, it's gonna go up. It's gonna be up and stuck, right? So there's a lot going on, and we'll get into that in later time, because it's just a lot of moving parts to this conflict. Of course, we know, I'll say war because that's what it is. Trump thought that he was going to be one and done, right? Kaboom. And Iran was going to say, okay, you got us. We're going to stop, or whatever it is you want us to do. But Iran is like, we'll take this all the way to hell and beyond. We're not bending the knee to you. So the United States and Israel, they're having some issues. And in fact, they said too, that there's been a report of 150 injuries and wounded U.S. soldiers. And I guess they're trying to keep that under wraps. This is all allegedly, but that's what they're saying. That we know of, there's 7 U.S. Soldiers that have been killed since this has started. So there's a lot going on overseas, but then there's a lot going on in our community. So again, how did we get here to where, broad daylight at a Walmart somewhere in America, you can see an elderly Black woman getting hemmed up by people who look like her? You know what I mean? And what goes through the mind of a younger woman who thinks that's okay? Because I'm sure that obviously she's had a mom or has a mom, because she's got here somehow, right? It wasn't through divine intervention, I don't think. So she has a mom. I wonder what she would think if somebody did that to her mom. I will say, throughout that comment section, I saw a lot of people making excuses. A lot of people. Well, so we just gonna ignore that she bumped into him, well, she wasn't crying like that until the ladies got, started talking to her, this, that, and so there's a lot of excuses as to, well, how do we know? We don't know what happened before this, that, and the other. And these are people that look like us. They're trying to give those people a way out as to why that was okay. Now, not only is that older woman a grandma, auntie, mama, great grandma, whatever, I'm assuming, right? She's the matriarch of our community, right? The Black woman, especially the elderly Black women, are the matriarch of our community. Y'all know that woman would have all the respect in our community. They're like, man, people go toe to toe for the matriarch in the community, mother so and so, Mrs. Whoopty Whoop up the street or whatever. Everybody looked out for her, or even when she's out and about, you look out for her. But now she's got to look out from for the enemy within, because she don't know. And listen, we're all gonna get old. It's just the way it is, or older, right? We're all gonna get older. So cognitively, sometimes, we're gonna lose some things. I mean, I'm 54 right now, and I walk in one room, I'll be like, what did I come in here for? And I literally have to walk out and I say, oh, that's why. You see what I'm saying? So we're all going to get there. So there comes a time where we have to be graceful and extend mercy to our elderly people, right? Like my dad, y'all know he just passed away. He passed away from Parkinson's or complications thereof, right? And so with that, there's a lot you can't really do like you used to. You just can't. And I thank God that, there are a lot of people who looked out for my father. Whether it was his brothers in the, Nation of Islam, they looked out for him, checked on him every day, called him. If they couldn't get him on the phone, they would call me. And you heard from your dad today? I heard from him earlier. Well, we're not able to reach him because their thing was if we can't get your dad on the phone, we have to go check on him, right? Whether my dad was out and about, he had his scooter or whatever. My dad wanted to be independent until he left the body here. Okay, fine. There's nothing we can do about it. And I'll give y'all a story. About a month before he passed, my dad, boy, I got stories about my dad was gonna do it his way, regardless. He didn't care what nobody said, right? So we didn't like him going out after hours. Now, obviously, he couldn't drive anymore, but he would get on the bus with his scooter, right? My sister bought him a state-of-the-art scooter and all of that. So he would get on the bus. So I'm in Texas, he's in California. I'm 2 hours ahead. So he didn't have his phone, just getting up there. And he got like stuck. So I guess he was trying to come off of a curb or something and he got stuck. Now it's the middle of the night. We're like 9 o'clock or so in Lancaster, California. And it's like 40 something degrees. So this lady, she's a younger lady too. She calls me and she says, I have your dad here. Your dad is stuck. And I'm like, what do you mean he's stuck? Well, he was driving a scooter and I guess he couldn't get off the curb or something. So it's cold and it's getting late. And so my dad's like, can you call me an Uber? Can you call me an Uber? But the lady, she stayed there with him and put her jacket over him because she says, I saw your dad she was going to Walmart. I saw your dad when I was going to Walmart. And then on my way back, I saw him there in the same spot. And she was like, something just told me something's not right. So she stayed there with my dad, wrapped him up in her jacket. She says, oh, his poor little head is cold. And she, put her hoodie on him. And she waited for the Uber to show up. And I said, what is your Cash App? I need to send you some money for helping my dad. She goes, I will not take any money from you. She says, I have a grandpa. And she was a lot younger. I have a grandpa and I would want somebody to do that, for him. So she waited till the Uber came and, he got home safely and all of that. But I'm just saying, like, how many people passed my dad and didn't think anything of it? But she was in tune, and we always know that we are entertaining angels unaware, right? So I don't know. That lady could have been an angel. I don't know what she was, but she saw something wasn't right, and she saw my dad all the way through, even to call me and all of that. So we need more people like that in the community. Or at the very worst, my dad could have been jacked up by somebody, because my dad would carry money on him. We kept telling him, don't do it, don't go at it. But my daddy gonna do what he want to do. But so something worse could have happened to him. So I just wonder, how do we get here as a society to where even our elderly aren't safe anymore? How do we get here? And it's sad to know that. Like, in that young woman's mind, she felt that she was vindicated to do that to her now. Of course, y'all saw at the end where she was in handcuffs and her man, let me put it up here again so y'all can see exactly what I'm saying. Her man, let's see right here. Okay. So after they, hemmed the elderly lady up, I'm just trying to get back there. So after they hemmed her up, they went into the stove. Like it was all right with what I did. I told her, and dude was having to drag her away from trying to stop her from jumping on the old lady. So you're gonna see here, she's getting in the back of the car, but look at the demeanor of her man. Look at her man.
Just as I thought, they're being arrested.
Now my thing is, What excuse could you be giving the police that was okay for your woman to jump on that lady? Okay, I get it. Maybe the lady hit him. Obviously, she didn't hit you too hard. I'm not making excuses. She didn't hit you too hard to where you know, you up and running and you woo woo woo, but you have to drag your woman up off of her. But what excuse could you be giving the police that makes it okay for her to jump on that lady like that? Allegedly, I'm gonna say, because I wasn't there. What excuse could you be giving? Well, what she shouldn't have, and she woulda, coulda, shoulda, and that's why. Like what was the acceptable reason? Because if I was a police officer, I would have said that, sir. These are all allegations, but if what we have seen on this video was true, why would you find any of this okay? You literally have to drag grab your woman up off of this elderly lady. And she said she was sorry. That lady said she was sorry. Like, what? How do you think this is okay? So I'm gonna jump in the comment section, and the question I have is, what do we do? How do we fix this? How do we turn this thing around and make our communities a decent and safe place to live? Because we have to. Because when you hear about Trump sending in the National Guard, no, he shouldn't have. So we don't like the National Guards, and I agree, I don't like it either. Okay, we don't like that. We don't like the police. Brian, like you said, that's kind of like a death sentence calling the police. Well, so who's supposed to stick up for the lady? And thank God, shout out to those women who did. Because y'all heard the one woman was like, she ain't coming back out here because she do. I'm gonna whoop her. But what about that lady? What is that okay? Like, how do you resolve that? To me, you jumping on that lady in her car, that's a firm decision. So how do you change the mind of a fool that's making firm decisions to be ignorant? See, as my daddy would always say, hey, you put the white man on them then. Because sometimes that's the only thing some people understand is the white man. The white man, you name it, whether it's child support, the police, whatever it is. Because, us trying to talk to each other, what you not going to do, and what you, but then when you do, then you want to, well, what happened was, well, you ain't got to call the police on me. We could, Because see, when I tried to talk to you, I came to you, a Black American or whatever it is, a Black American, woman to woman, man to man, but you didn't want to hear me. I couldn't say nothing to you. But then when, 5-0 get involved, it's like, oh, well, you don't call the police on another Black person. Well, the other Black person shouldn't be doing nothing to have the police called on them. Right? It's called cause and effect. So what do we do? I'm asking y'all. I'm in the comment section now. What do we do? I'm gonna go all the way back to where I left off. Woo, let's see. Okay, hold on one second. I left off. Randolph, how you doing? And our Ramadan Kareem to you as well. Okay, let's see. Just trying to make sure I get everybody. Zenobia, how you doing? Says peace and love to you, Demetra, Mod, and chat. Yes, indeed. Okay. Sound like it says I cannot. I could not either. When I saw it, I was like, is this she trying to jump on this old lady? And look how distraught she was. If y'all want to see it again, let me know. I know some people came in late. I'll show it. I'll get down to the bottom. So yeah, Brian said getting the police involved is attempted murder in my book. I mean, so I'm asking you, I'm sure you've answered, but what do we do, right? So nobody says a lack of respect is too much. Yeah, Vanessa, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Black Butterflies, what's going on with you? Says they not like us, the alcohol. So you think they was drunk? I don't know what they were, but a night in the clink will sober you up. Brian says, yeah, that was ignorant to call those people. In my opinion, I disagree with it. Well, what do you do? If it was your mama getting hemmed up in the parking lot of Walmart because she made an accident, would you not? What would you want them to do? What would you want to happen? See, my thing is this, and I'm not saying this is for you necessarily. I always say, do not advocate for somebody or something for someone that you wouldn't advocate for yourself. See, it's easy to advocate. Nobody call the police when somebody else's mama getting jumped on, but when it's your mama, it's like, oh hell to the no. right? You want to like Yosemite Sam up in here, okay? So I know if that was my mama, I would probably catch a case. I'm gonna keep it real. I catch a case. I ain't never been in jail or nothing like that, but I'd be my first time going over my mama. You could believe that. So I'm just saying, what should have happened to them? I don't know. King Noble says, right on to the sister that said she was, come on now, she was gonna whoop her as she came back out, and that's exactly what she should have got her dragged from here to there. Rearrange her understanding a little bit. JJ said some of our folks are just low, yeah, just gutter low. I mean, and then like I said, what's the justification for that? And Buckhorst says, yeah, that's terrible. It is terrible. Okay, let's see. Kenobo says, okay, I read that one. And Kevin says, glad the young lady called the police and waited at the scene. Yeah, and it sounds like from what they were saying too, is the elderly woman didn't want to get the police involved, but they had to force the issue. And I get it. She probably was like you, Brian, like, well, because if they jump on you, they'll do it again. Somebody has to stop them. Somebody has to sit her down so she can understand you can't just be jumping on people, especially old, women. Come on. Just ignorance. It just, I can't stand it. I know if I was there, I'd probably be in the back of the car with her. I'm going to be honest with you. You could ask my daughter about me. When I see stuff like that, she'd be like, oh, Mom. I'm like, I don't like to see that kind of stuff. Brian says they never gave us mental health treatment after the human trafficking, forced labor, etc. We have a lot of pending crash outs, and it's the circumstances wider society puts us in our opinion. Listen. I hear exactly what you're saying, but I'm gonna put this back up here. The operative word is we must. Okay, we must. Not white people, not this person, not Martians, not alligators, not Mickey Mouse or his mama. We must make our communities a decent and safe place to live. So I hear what you're saying, but we cannot keep shirking the responsibility. That is our responsibility. And if we just break it all the way down, I have a child. It is my duty as a mother and her father to raise a conducive human. That is our job as a parent. And raising a conducive human means that they do the right things, they say the right things, like all of that is involved. Because I want to turn out a citizen in society that is not going to be a problem. So I know the ills that we suffer as a people. Yeah, we've never gotten healing, but at what point do we take responsibility? At what point? Because ain't no judge going to be listening. Well, you know what? She probably crashed out on that old lady because of something happened in slavery. Now she crashed out because she's a fool. She's an idiot. She has no emotional intelligence. She just crashes out. And I don't think that's her first time. I think she's probably done that before. And her man is stupid too. Because see, it's women like that cost a dude with his life. Because what if that lady would have called her son, hey, Junebug, this lady just jumped on me at Walmart. And he come up there like Yosemite Sam. And then her dude try to jump bad and then he gets 6 feet deep. So I get what you're saying, but come on now. This is a us thing at this point. And I guarantee you, I don't put too much guarantee in, but her mama probably act like a damn nut everywhere she go. And her grandmama probably act like a nut everywhere she go. And that's probably where she learned it from. And her children will act like a nut everywhere they go until somebody says, hey, we got to stop all this foolishness. Because when somebody, they be, saying, if anybody asks you, at your funeral, then that's when people going to start to think about it. So I'm just saying. But yeah, we need some mental help. We need to lay down on somebody's couch in the meantime. Patrice, what's going on with you? Hope you're doing well. Ursa says that's what the authorities are for. If you don't know how to act, some Walmarts are off the chain. Yeah. You should be able to go into Walmart and not worry about if you're going to come out, with your wig snatched off or whatever it is. Like, come on. Albert Chill says it's a lack of empathy and disconnect from reality. It's a disconnect from something, disconnect from the belt. That's what it is, right? Brian, you said playing into their hands, in my opinion, we have to figure it out ourselves. Hopefully, if we keep it within life-threatening limits. He says, but there was a whole stop snitch movement because police didn't treat us right. Yeah, well, but there's conflation going on there. The stop snitching movement came from, people who should have been snitching, right? I never agree with the stop, don't snitch. You need to be told on if you in the community taking somebody's life. Why would you want to hide somebody out like that? See, then when they do it to you, you're going to be, do. Yeah, I know who it was. So I didn't agree with the snob snitching. That's not snitching. That's you getting what you deserve when you put your hands on somebody's grandmama. That's what that is. You getting what comes to you. If you what? Commit a crime, you got to do the time. Now, I'm not saying the young lady need to go for life. She might need to sit down for 5 days. I don't know, restitution at a senior citizen home. I don't think people should be locked up forever. Perhaps when she's older, she'll rearrange her understanding and won't act that way. But I'm sorry. The lady said she was sorry. At what point do you continue to jump on this lady? After she said she was sorry. So how do you figure it out with somebody who won't accept your apology? How? 911. Beverly, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Let's see. Ash, what's going on? Hope you're having a great day. JJ says, I remember years ago, Rosa Parks was assaulted in her own home by some thug. Well, I guess we don't call the police on them, huh? Rosa, did you pray for them? Pray for them. Cloudless, how are you? Hope that you're doing well. Let's see. And Mr. South Carolina, I say hello to you, but I say hello again. Mad Dog, what's going on with you? Vanessa says, Generation Jones here, and I do not play. I'm 63 years old of age, and I let younger people, FAFO, you never know which one will lay it on you. Yeah, and it's sad, but back in the day, I don't know. I mean, I guess we kind of always had concerns, not just in our community, but in all communities, but it's pretty bad now. It's pretty bad. And now that young lady is looking at some charges. I'm quite sure what they are. I don't know. Assault, elderly abuse. You can't it's against the law to jump on older people. That you can't do that. So I'm sure once she hears the charges, she's gonna be like, I did all that. Yeah. It's elderly abuse. You can get a lot of trouble alone just for that. So yeah, sometimes people have to have their rearranging understanding rearranged. Albie Chill says, crazy how the book you suggested earlier, Hidden Secrets of Oriental Wealth, explains a lot of this madness. See, I've been telling people to listen to it, right? So you learn a lot of good stuff about it there, huh? Jay, how you doing? Says, that's a crying shame. It is. Mr. Ernest, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Let me skip down a tiny bit. Randolph, he says, apparently we have a lot of evil people amongst us. That conduct was completely unacceptable and wicked. A lot of people didn't think it was. Well, what did she do? Oh, that she wasn't crying like that before. It's like, oh, we evil, just evil. Because I'm telling you, I would do a life sentence over my mama. And I'm not unhinged, but when it comes to my mama, my daddy, yeah, I could be. So I don't know. It's just evil. Brian says, well, we didn't see them hit them with the car, so we don't know how bad the incident really was, but I wouldn't want us fighting at all. He says, we have enough adversaries as it is. Yeah, but you can't jump on old people in the parking lot of Walmart and think that's okay. Okay, like I said, there's procedures to do that. If that lady ran into you, whatever, call the police. Make an incident report or whatever it is. That there's ways to do things. There's procedures, okay? There's systems. They're there for a reason. You don't get to crash out. There's no reason. None. No reason to crash out on that lady unless she was malicious or something like that. It doesn't seem like she was, okay? And I'm going to say all allegedly again because I wasn't there. But call the police, call your insurance, whatever it is. Call an ambulance. Yeah, I said an ambulance. Call an ambulance if you hurt. And do it that way. But to jump on it, come on, man. We cannot. We cannot make excuses for that. And that's part of the problem. We make excuses for the things that we should not be excusing at all. Because I know damn well nobody could jump on your mama and you be trying to, well, okay. Did you do that? Okay. And that didn't work. Okay, let's go to plan B. How about that? Oh, that didn't work either. Hmm. You go all the way down to Z checking off the list when you should have just, I don't know. 911 would have been the last thing I did if that was my mom. I'm just gonna they'd have called 911 on me. Kevin says that's those asinine comments is why black people are never going to get anywhere with that type of thinking. Yeah, we want to excuse it. Luke, how you doing? Says the weak seek power in any way. Yeah, brother Stephen, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. I'm glad that you caught me live and tell your wife I said hello. Buckhorse, uh, and Ursula says a father doesn't change culture. A father doesn't change. I guess I don't understand your comment. If you want to expound upon that, Buckhorse says you don't touch the elderly. That's a game, especially not foundational black. Don't cross that line. Yeah, just some things are not up for negotiation. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, Brian. Yeah, they did, but what part? Well, I want to ask you, what part do we play in any of this in our communities? What part do we play? Are we imbeciles? We don't have any responsibilities at all for the ills that go on in our community. I know these conditions were made for us, but do we need to continue in those conditions? I don't. I'm just asking. Um, Baldy, how you doing? Says the young folks have no respect for the elderly. Plus, until the young folks start to respect themselves, they can have a great community. Yeah, we need to teach that. And some of that is our fault as the older generation because we just stopped teaching. We don't really sit these youngins down no more and have a conversation with them and let them know, about the consequences and about being appropriate in every situation. We don't do that. You know, I tell you all the time the stories of my parenting. I wasn't a perfect parent, but did not play. A teacher called me about my daughter, which was rare. There were some times that they did. Oh no, I'm not one of them parents that are gonna crash out. Don't you be talking to my child? What you doing to my child? Well, you better not. Oh, she did, huh? I go down to the school. One teacher was scared. She's like, I've never had a parent. I had a couple teachers tell me I've never had a parent do what you did. I'm like, I know my child. And if you tell me she did that, it wasn't nothing major, but I didn't like it at all. Teacher took her phone. I turned around on the 60 freeway and I was far from her school. I said, you keep her there. When I got there, she said my daughter had, said what the hell to her. She took her phone. And I said, you keep her phone for as long as you can, as long as you want. I said, you keep it. I don't care if you keep it to the end of the year. You want to give it back to her, you give it back to her. I said, I did not raise her to talk like that to nobody, especially her teachers. It was a white lady. And she was, well, she's usually a good kid. I don't know what got into her. I don't know what got into her, but I'm going to give her phone back. She did. My daughter apologized and the rest was history. But the point that I'm making is, see, part of that is you can't say nothing to people about their children anymore. I know they ain't, and you better not. My sister's a teacher, and she talks about it all the time. The kid is on their phone in the classroom, and she takes it for the day. The parent come back up to, yeah, why you take my day? I pay the bill. And so yeah. Let's see who else is on here. Barney's what's going on with you says, was she stealing? No, she wasn't stealing. She tried to steal on that older lady. So Stephen says, my whole community knew my dad and all them watched out for him until the end of life on earth. Yeah, and that's a community. That's the way it's supposed to be. I tell you, when my father passed away, all of his neighbors, they just cried. They were just besides themselves. Oh, we love him. Oh, what are we gonna do? They were just couldn't believe it, because they all really looked out for him. All of them. So that's what a community is supposed to do, right? Edward says they gotta be looking out too. Yeah, hey, we gotta look out for each other. Renz, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. African Native, what's going on with you? The Renegade was up. He says we didn't see the whole beginning of the video, so we can't. What if? Well, from what they were saying collectively, is the lady did bump into him. I guess she was backing out, didn't see him. So apparently he probably walked behind her car and she didn't see him or whatever. Um, and that's kind of what seems like it happened. And then sounds like it was some crashing out going on. So that's all I'm saying. Keynote says she called a charge now, goofy clown, and those defending them two goofballs or clowns too. I totally agree with you. Totally. Okay, so let me skip down so I could catch up. I see a lot of comments. Lady Diana, how you doing? I have not seen you in a while. Truth is what's going on. It says last resort, but it's our responsibility. Yes, our responsibility. But I mean, I'm not gonna keep on arguing with fools because I don't know what kind of fool you are. If you will jump on an old lady, hell, ain't no telling what you do. So sometimes people need to get some, correction from people they will listen to. And I'm not saying that we like should be willing to like that should be the first resort. But I mean, jumping on an older lady in the parking lot seemed like a firm decision to me. Then you walk in the store like, and what? And then your man had to drag you off of her. Why? So now she has some time to think about things. I hate that for her. I don't like to see anybody in jail, especially young black women. But if nobody can say anything to you, then what? Then what do you do? Should the rest of us be at risk, in danger, because we don't want to call the police on fools? See, Marcus Garvey said a long time ago when we were trying to go back, to Africa, Liberia, he says, there's some that are no good here and they will be no good over there. So some people got to be left behind. And I think that's the sad part of it. Some people got to be left behind. Everybody ain't going to be able to go. Some people are firm in their foolishness, and that's okay. You just can't come with the rest of us. Or the rest of us shouldn't be subjected to your ignorance, right? Lady Diana says, this kind of attention in our community makes me sick to my stomach. Me too. El, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Let's see. Use T Daniel, how you doing? Says show. Okay, so y'all want me to show it? Okay, LB, how you doing? Let me just get down to the comments just a tiny bit, and I'm gonna show the video again. I know it took me forever to get here. I just want to acknowledge everybody I haven't seen. Charles, how you doing? Says stop the disrespecting movies, music, cussing each other out, etc. We all know what is right. I totally agree with you. And as parents, we should not be sitting our children up in front of any and everything, movies, music, and all. There was discretion back in the day. I didn't listen to or watch everything my parents watched. It's time to go to bed, right? It was an old kind of like running joke when you heard the themes, music to MASH. That was your cue to go to bed because you couldn't watch everything your parents was watching. This ain't Sesame Street, boo. Go to bed, right? So I can tell you to this day all the things that my parents were watching or listening to. I couldn't. And I grew up in the day where you see your parents come home with an album in a brown paper bag because they had discretion back then. Nowadays ain't no discretion. Mama's popping booty with the daughters and twerking and daddy's toking up with the kid. There's no discretion. And I'm gonna show the video in just a second. Amy, how you doing? He says it's very simple to stop putting hands on one another. Haven't we had enough of that from other people? Come on now. Black lives count. How you doing? I hope you're doing well. Let's see. Going down, and I'm gonna re-show the video, so just bear with me. Brother Don, my triple OG moderator. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. This fine evening. Righteous one, how you doing? Says no one else will do it except us. Facts. Well, we have to, right? And now while you say human trafficking is what's being talked about here. We were talking about human trafficking. Or you think they was trying to traffic this lady? Like, what are we talking about? Not that I'm laughing, I'm just confused. So apologies for that. Bro Goo, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Sister Shirley, how you doing? I saw you earlier as well. Thank you for being here with me again. Earth Ocean Moon, what's up? He said the dude who broke into Rosa Parks house got beat up in jail. As he should have. See, I'm not, again, I don't like to see people locked up, but I just feel like certain people in society, yeah, when you go back behind them walls, you need to be dealt what you did. You know what I mean? Because it was kiki and ha-ha and all funny games while you was doing it to somebody's grandmama, but now you back there having to line it up. Because my mom used to always say there is, or how can I say this? So basically, criminals, there's some things that they ain't gonna go for, right? Messing with women and children. And these could be murderers back there, right? But if they ain't messing with no kids and you come up in there, oh yeah. So I have my beliefs. I'm just gonna leave it at that because I don't want to get in trouble. But yeah, you probably should be tapped and dapped up if you're breaking in somebody's grandmama house. Yeah, you should have to answer for that back there. Oh, you like to break into grandmama's houses? Let's see. John, how you doing? So the sad part is you will still have some in our community that will make excuses for them, and they already are. They already are. Fair use, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Kenneth, what's going on with you? Walaikum salam. Maritza, what's going on? He says, I'm glad that girl who said something and I ended up arrested. I don't care who the F you are. Yeah. Like she said, the grandma didn't even want to call the police, but the other ladies is like, oh, the police is called, right? Because you don't be putting your hands on. She was like, nah, we call them. Don't worry, right? And they did the right thing because they'll do it to somebody else. And then you're going to go in there and shop. You're going to go in there and shop like you didn't just rough this woman up. That, like, some criminals will be like, come on, let's go. Like, make you find it, but you're going to go in there, you're going to shop and get all the things you want after you just did that to that lady in the parking lot and you thought that nothing was going to happen to you. What's wrong with people? I'm confused. Let's see. Who else haven't I seen? I'm going to show the video. NBPP was going on. Black power all day. Yes, indeed. African Native says elderly, minors, women, handicapped, sick, pregnant women ought to be respected. This is civic education. Back home, we had in primary school, civic education classes mandatory. Yeah, we have it too. We used to. I ain't been in school in a minute now, but we used to. But we need to get back to all the basics. We need to get back to all the basics, but they don't have it in school. You need to have it at home because there are certain things you knew if you did out in them streets, you was going to get home and get jacked up. That's what the age I came from. You was getting jacked up. If you your parents heard that you was doing something in the streets that you wasn't supposed to be doing, you was getting jacked up. You sure was. And see, I had the type of parents that would come up to the school. Okay. My stepdaddy was like, let me hear about you. I'll be up at your school. I didn't want my stepdaddy at my school. Right. So we just behave because ain't nothing like it. See, back in the day, your parents I guess they kind of can still, come up to the school. I was scared I was gonna get a whooping or something like that in school. So I didn't want that. See, that's the age I come from. John says lack of impulsive control, emotional maturity. Yeah, we need to really start teaching emotional intelligence in our community. Repentant Judah, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Let's see. Let me skip down. I'm gonna show the video. Vix text, how you doing? Hope that you're having a great day. Brother Thunder, where have you been? I miss you. I hope that you're doing well. Brother Samuel, how you doing? Says Brother Demetric Muhammad has a book, How to Police Our Own Community. I'm gonna get that book too, because I'll be liking all the books. I'm gonna get it. Scoop, how you doing? Says when I was coming up 56 years, the whole neighborhood had a right to check you. Better not let Miss Smith see you. She gone, your comment, damn sure tell the rest of your comment. Yeah, that's where I came from. My mama came from that school too. My daddy too. It was a community, the village, right? Get jacked up in the streets, and then you're gonna get jacked up at home. Okay, you between everybody, you was getting some straightening going on. Not today. I'm not saying you should put your hands on people's kids, but you should be able to say, hey. Stop all that right there. Knock all that off. But you might end up catching a bad one, saying something like that. Old school said black folks need to learn to keep our emotions in check and start using logic, no sense, sense no matter what the situation is. Yeah, think, right? Brother Sam says long term, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said we must completely be re-educated. That in our present condition, we are not fit for self. Ooh, we ain't, and it's sad. That's why we keep having these conversations. Y'all was hot. That's why I got this fan. Five Rains, how you doing? Says elderly abuse charge is not good. She will do some time behind that. I'm gonna show y'all the video again for those of y'all who came in late. So here we go.
What's going on over there? Look at your window. You just want some car. You go to the jail. I recorded what happened, and she was like all up on him. I don't know what.
Did you call the police?
Tell us what happened.
Yeah, what happened? It's okay.
You
I'm
didn't-
gonna call the police. For
You say you didn't. You say you didn't
No,
see
you
them.
stay right here. No, you stay right here. Yeah, I need a police
Oh my
at
God.
Walmart in Richmond Park. This lady was just attacked, and I saw the lady hitting on her.
I even recorded it.
You're not. You okay? You okay? Because if she come out here, I'ma whoop her ass.
No, please.
You just wait.
Babe, you did not deserve that at
No,
all.
the lady went inside of Walmart. Yeah, but I thought that this was somebody that she knew.
No.
But she don't even know this lady. She was just she reached in the car. I was parking, and then
She
the
literally
lady
grabbed her.
the
like,
lady right here, she recorded it.
Just as I thought, they're being arrested.
So that was from that vantage point, and I just I realized too. She said that somebody else was recording, so maybe the other vantage point will come out. But just from that point alone, I mean, it's really hard to watch, especially to see her wailing that way. Um, it just it's just unexplainable. I like I said, I don't know how we necessarily. I have my speculations as to how we got here, but that's just and then no remorse, not even scared. Just go in the store and just continue, just go shop, you know, like nothing happened. I snatched this old lady up. I don't know, like what is going through your mind as you do that, and then you continue to shop. Mm-mm. MC Fact, how you doing? Says no discretion these days, no shame, none at all, no shame at all. Like I said, most people that have some sense to at least run, right? Come on, let's get in the car. Uh the Dr. Vibe Show. I hope I said that right. How you doing? Thunder says them old folks used to say, "Get out my mouth," okay? Because I heard that a couple of times when I was a kid. Get out my mouth and stay at the child's place. And my favorite, get away from here. This is grown folks' business. You just don't see or hear that no more. No, this is what they do. Girl, let me tell you, this mother, woo, woo, this beat, woo, woo, this out, she got, and a child be listening to all of that. They be right, there's no discretion. Like I said, listening to the most deplorable music. My sister, and then Brother Samuel, I know you can attest to maybe some of this. My sister's a teacher. She's an elementary teacher, and she said some of these kids will want to talk to her about shows that they shouldn't be even watching. What's the name of that show? It's called I know it as The Pink, but it's a show about strippers. I can't think of the name, and somebody probably put in the comment section. But they want to know, did you see the show? Why did you see the show? So it's like, are your parents letting you watch this? Or are you sitting up there watching it with your parents? Like there were some things we just cannot watch at all. Until you were an adult, you're like, this is what my mom and daddy, but you didn't know about that. You were innocent because there was discretion. But yeah, it's crazy. Let's see who else came up in here. Yeah, Thunder. Yeah, I was about to send out a search and a rescue for you. Says you been ripping and running, but it's good to be amongst family once again. Yes, indeed. So nobody says, where I come from, the elderly have the authority. Yeah, you didn't talk back to Miss Gloda Dean, Mr. Melvin. You didn't talk back to them. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Nowadays, Gloda Dean might catch a bad one. You don't be talking to me like that, and Mr. Melvin get rolled up. That used to be something. And you seen Miss Gloda Dean or Mr. Melvin coming, you you straighten up. If you was doing something you wasn't supposed to be doing, you see them coming. Hey, Miss Clodagh Dean, how are you? Not no more. You know, they Miss Clodagh Dean walking down the street and she got the because blew all kind of smoke in her face. So yeah, we got to get back to that. A Clodagh Dean better know how to fight. Because see, when I'm almost a Clodagh Dean, I know how to fight. Okay. Uh, Doug says she got she had a handicap placard. You know, so it's possible she didn't see them. How many times if we're backing up? If you got an older car like me, I don't got the beep beep beep. Mine's a 2013, right? So I don't got the camera let you know somebody walking behind you. You get rolled over in my car because I might not see you. If I'm backing up and it's just sometimes it happens. You gotta look to the left, gotta look to the right, and maybe you did that, and so and could have been a whole lot of things. Maybe they were on their phone and they didn't see her back, and so it's she didn't deserve to have nobody put her hands on her though. So yeah, let's see. Yeah, Thunder, you can see she was an older lady, but they didn't care. Anthony, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Mad Dog says that's Richmond Park. Okay, Illinois. I didn't know where that was. Thank you for telling me that. Said that's my stomping grounds. So I hope you don't see stuff like that often. Brian says I saw her lean toward her, probably was upset, but there was no longer long to come. What's your angle, man? Says there's no long-term damage. I didn't see any abrupt movements to indicate a strike, or old lady herself could have been armed. So that if I'm armed and you coming up in my vehicle, yeah, you might catch a bad one. I don't know what kind of fool you are. What do you hear? What you typing? If you come to my vehicle in an austere manner and I'm got the Yosemite Sams, yeah, you might catch one. Because I'm not trying to figure out what are they trying to do? Because my life is in danger. In most places in the United States, they got the castle doctrine. So if you stupid enough to go up to somebody's vehicle with the rah, 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 and they pull out the Yosemite Sams on you, hey, it's called self-defense around here. Right? I'd rather hear that from my mom. Oh my God, I had the Yosemite Sam them. Then hear my mama laid up somewhere because some young fool put her hands on her. I don't care what kind of damage. You don't put your hands on my mama. Don't put your hands on Clodagh Dean. You don't do that. I don't care if you see. We're not gonna minimize the disrespect, because disrespect is disrespect. We cannot do that. See, and I don't know, Brian, I'm not saying this about you necessarily, but that's part of the problem with these kids. You got people making excuses for them. Well, what did you do? Well, maybe you shouldn't have, and maybe she wouldn't have. See, when I came up, you getting your ass whooped, okay? Getting your ass whooped for stuff like that. Because people used to be concerned with, damn, what you got going on, little kid. You're not going to put my name out in the streets like I'm raising some hellions. Because, see, they're not going to say the child. And I know they were a little older than kids, but I'm speaking from this point of view. Parents used to be concerned with their names being ran around in the streets any and every kind of way. They wanted people to know, no, I'm raising some decent children around here. I want you to know they do have home training. And if they get out there in the streets and they forget their home training, or they going to come back to the home and they going to get update. See, that's what we were concerned with. That's what I was concerned with as a parent. You're not going to have me embarrassed at the school. Because, see, you raised like you know something at home, and you're going to get out in the streets and you're going to do the same thing. So we're not going to make excuses, Brian. I hear what you're saying, but then I'm trying not to. Let's see. Skipping on down. Vix Texas says it breaks your heart. Yeah, it's very sad. People making excuses. African Native says the education system needs review. Yeah, and the home system needs review, right? We need to, get back to basics. So I'm at the bottom. Abigail says this is why I train 3 to 4 times a week. Okay. Like I said, I do know how to defend myself. My father, taught me how to defend myself, me and my siblings, and I've taken some classes. I went and got something at the store today. I can't really say what it is on here, but my daughter's concerned. She's like, "You crazy?" Say, you never know. You might have to use this one day. At the rate everything is going, like I said, I store my food and water. I'm not concerned about somebody coming to try to stick me up for my riches, like my money, my little change jar in my room. You can have that. You can have all the money I have if it came down to it, but you can't have my water. You can't have my food. See, because I'm gonna need those when it's not if, it's when. If you're paying attention to what's going on in the news, it's not if, it's when. Some argue that we're already at World War III. This has gotten away from the United States and Israel. They thought they were gonna bully Iran, and Iran was like, mm-mm. It's to the point to where the other Middle Eastern countries is like, United States and Israel, y'all get away from us. In fact, y'all come get y'all little military bases and get them all up out of here. See, because Iran is like, well, we're going to make a believer out of y'all. We can't necessarily touch the United States like that, but we'll touch the interest of the United States. And so what they said is, because Israel's thinking was that we're going to tear up all the oil fields and things like that in Iran, right? Destabilizing their money. But Iran is like, okay, well, great. Y'all do it to us. We're going to do it to everybody around us because we know that you benefit from them too. So we kaboom, them. Now y'all messed up. Ain't nobody getting no oil around here. Okay. And so it's gotten away from them. And now, Trump, says, I'm hearing about these mines that they got in the Strait of Hormuz, right? Where if you try to take something through there, because it's completely shut down now. Iran has said, ain't nothing moving through there, and ain't nothing. And then if you do, kaboom. Okay. So now Trump is signing, well, you guys bet not, and if you have that, you better remove it. It's like they already done told you, homie. They're not listening to you. They already made that clear. In fact, they have sent out a bunch of tweets and stuff. Hey, Americans, this is not American first. What they're doing is not American. Just like Trump told the Iranians, y'all need to change your leadership. They're saying, hey, Americans, y'all need to do something about y'all leadership. They over here fighting for Israel. They're not fighting for y'all. They want y'all to send your sons and daughters. And I can't remember where. Maybe it was Saudi Arabia, some billionaire. He tweeted, and he was like, we're not going to be sending our sons to die for Israel. No. He says, this has nothing to do with us. We, want to be left alone, but we're not getting involved in this. And he said to the Americans, I suggest y'all do the same. You're not dying for America. You're dying for another country. So you might want to take stock of what's really going on. And so with these messages, going forward, Russia's involved, China's involved, because what happened is they, being Israel and the United States, they destroyed Iran's satellite to where they can kind of, figure out where to. So they figured out that Russia and China are telling them how to do what they're doing. And as I said yesterday, Iran is like, these little things right here, these cost us a couple $100. So the couple $100 that we've spent on this, y'all spending millions on one to, shoot it down. So they're basically like, once y'all get tired of shooting these little funky little things that we got, shoot them down. Now we bring up the big dogs. So United States, underestimated. Now, it's always been said, I know I got on this. This is just very intriguing to me. So I kind of follow this all day. But the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan told them during Trump's first administration, do not allow Israel to drag you into a war with Iran, because America, as you know it, will not be the same. And now America and Israel, they're both, in a sense, kind of turning on each other. Because from what I saw it explained, Israel wants to totally neutralize Iran. They don't care if it costs money, if it costs oil. They don't care if they destroy whatever. They just want to neutralize them. But America and Trump is like, well, hold on now. Hold on a minute. Netanyahu, you tearing up the oil field. See, we need to come in there and get that. We trying to get the oil. You on some whole other stuff. We need the oil like they did with Venezuela, right? They went and kidnapped the president, and they took a hold of a country, and they took hold of those oil tankers and stuff. So United States, they want the oil, but now they have a conflict. Hey, facts, not feelings. There's a conflict between Israel and the United States because they're like, we're not on the same page here. you know, y'all just want to destroy everything, but we need what you're destroying. See, because what happens is United States, once they get a stronghold on all these oil, reserves and things like that, then they can go and stick it to China and Russia. So of course China and Russia's getting involved. They're like, no, we're not gonna let you get a stronghold on all the oil, because when they got a stronghold on Venezuela, then it choked out Cuba. That's why Cuba is going through what it's going through. It's in the dark. They don't have energy. They don't have food. It's hard for food to get there. Then when Mexico started sending shipments of food to Cuba, what happened? They went in there and set it off with the cartel. So Mexico was trying to help them as best they could. So now Cuba's got to come to the table. Now, mind you, Cuba was able to stave off the United States since the late 50s, which is why they had these embargoes and things going over there. They wasn't getting a lot of goods and trades and things. If you've ever been to Cuba, I have not. I know people who have. My brother went. He says they got cars from like the 1950s and 60s that they're still using. So they were cut off because of they wouldn't let America have their way with them. But now, in a sense, it's sad, but it sounds like they may have to bend the knee now after holding off the United States because of what Trump was able to do to Venezuela. So you think about it. The Strait of Hormuz, they send 20% of their oil through that strait, right? That canal or whatever it is. So if you get control of Iran and you get that oil, well, you kind of, able to be that dude, if you will, with the rest of the nations. So at first, you had some of the other Western countries like the UK and things like that. They're like, we're not going to get involved. We'll defend ourselves or maybe play some defense to some degree, but we're not going to be on the offensive. We don't need none of that over here. So United States and Israel, they're finding themselves in a bad way. Now, I know they don't show a lot of the videos coming out of Israel. I saw a video today where they were scramming. They're trying to they're in the airport. They're trying to get on flights to where they have to, I can't remember the name of the airport, but they had to shut it down because it was just chaos. They're trying to flee, right? So because we don't see a lot of footage, that's the are going over there. But yeah, they got it going on over there. But again, they thought that Iran was going to bend the knee. Iran is like, we'll take all this with us if we have to, but we'll never bend to the West. And they said, we are not going to negotiate. No, we ain't falling for that again, because we negotiated in good faith when you level the, this is our thing for YouTube purposes, right? When you leveled one on our nuclear weapon, bat cave, and you destroyed it, we had a conversation then. Okay, we agreed on a ceasefire. All right, it's cool. We'll go your own way. But as the foreign minister said, he was like, no, we're not going to negotiate. We tried that. The United States are liars. We did that, and look what they did. Now there's another thing. Y'all heard about that school that was United States, and Pete Hegseth are saying, oh, the Iranians, they did that. They bombed it. And there's so much evidence saying that it was not Iran that did that to their own school. Okay. It took out all those little girls and a whole host of other people. I'm like 200 or so injured and or, unalive, for lack of better words. And the foreign minister was like, doesn't make any sense. We didn't start this. They did that. Why would we do that to our own schools, an elementary school of all things? Why would we do that? And plus, the type of they said that only came from one place, and that's the United States. So the United States is not trying to claim, doing that to schools because, for war rules or whatever it is, you're not supposed to do that to schools, hospitals, places like that, civilian neighborhoods. But United States is like, but they don't want to own that. So there's a lot going on. So let me get into the comment section, just a couple more minutes, and then I'm gonna get out of here. Let's see. Um, where did I leave off? I left off here. Um, hold on. African Native says some people have surgery and insurance. Beware, and I don't even know what that is in regards to. Now I know it's not you, it's me. Buckhorse says James Brown, try me, okay? Thunder says she looked like one of those older ladies that have been saved. Now she was like them old folks from back back in the day and whipped out that old school shaving razor, okay? At the out your afro, and commenced to carving into it, slicing and dicing. Then it would have been a problem, right? Mixed Master Mike, how you doing? You say delineation is a verb and verbs require action. The action of delineation is clarity. Come on now, come on with the bars. Brother Don says you're gonna come home and get some updates on the home training. Absolutely, you're gonna get right. You're gonna get some tighten ups. Randolph says it's hard for me to understand people making excuses for this kind of behavior. We have lost our way spiritually. We have become godless with deceased hearts. Yep, and that's the point. God is not in the equation at all. We don't even reverence God at all, and that's why he sees so much foolishness, right? Siri Pro Music. I hope I said that right. How you doing? Says defending yourself is different when the heat is on. Okay, I'm not going to sit up and try to figure out what kind of fool you are. Try to calculate. Well, maybe they are, maybe they won't. Maybe they. Oops. Right. And Brian says ported muzzle can act as a compensator. Thunder says, thank you, DK. Not if, but when these are treacherous looking times. But see, Brother Thunder been telling everybody for the longest, hey, get prepared, right? Get your little radio, because when all this, whatever, you're going to need to be able to, hello, is anybody out there? It's me, right? You need your food and your water. Now, I got a whole water store in my garage. I ain't going to lie. But a lot of people aren't even aware of that. They're just going through everyday life. Gas is going up. Gas and oil, when that goes up, then it's a trickle down, trickle up, trickle sideways. It's just ricochets all over. You start hearing about people losing jobs, and I was telling my daughter. I said truck drivers. They deliver the stuff to the stores and things. I said, you think gas gonna be cheap for them? No, gas gonna go up for them. So then they pass that on to the people that hire them to deliver the goods and stuff. And then the stores or whatever, they pass that on to us. But guess what? We ain't getting no raises. Shoot, a lot of people gonna end up getting laid off. So if I just suggest you just start preparing. I was at the water section of Walmart today, and I seen some people over there, and what was going through my mind is, are they here because I'm here? Like the reason I'm here? I didn't want to say nothing. But are we here for the same reason? Other than we're being thirsty, but are they here for the same reason? I just wondered that. Don said, did you go out and get one of them things today? I got a thing. I did. I got a thing. It's going to be on and popping if it got to be, right? My daughter's like, it's something wrong with you. I said, hey, got to be. Got to be. Shoot, you got to out crazy the crazy sometimes. Miss Pamela, how you doing? Says some of these criminals are non-FBA. That's true, but there's a lot of criminals that are FBA. It is. It's criminals from all elements. I wish there wasn't, but there is. That's not feeling says peace and love, family. This war is a war against all BRICS and the global South. BRICS and the global South better understand this. Oh yeah, I think they understand. But Iran is like, we'll take it all with us. That's the way to go. We're not finna be right? We'll take it all with us. And now Trump, he like, yikes. So they kind of like blaming each other now, It's like, yeah, because it don't sound like they even thought any of this out. They said it was, well, Israel jumped it off, so we needed to protect ourselves. It's like, and then I don't know if y'all saw Lindsey Graham. He was on the news somewhere yesterday talking about, I will always fight for Israel until my dying breath. And he said, our dying breath. And people's like, who is this are you talking about? Right? So now people on his bumper because they like, how you supposed to be America first? What you mean you riding and dying all that for them? You're supposed to be here first. So hopefully they vote him out, Facts not feelings, I'll be having to try to just break it on down, right? As I understand it, I'm not like, I've never been to war or anything like that, but I really do be paying attention because it's like, I want to be able to know, what's going on when it go down, go down. I don't even know if I'm trying to be funny. But of course, there's a lot of bastards think it's a damn joke. Yeah, it's gonna be ha ha he until it's not. You know how the old people just say he hell. See, we're at that point, right? We're at the he hell part now. This ain't funny. People laughing and thinking it's funny until you're talking about. I'm thirsty. Can I get some water? You sure cannot. Mm-mm. That's why I had to go get something today because I need to be able to tell you no a little bit more strongly. Because this ain't gonna get it. You ain't gonna take a verbal no. You're gonna have to take another no. So I'm just saying. And it said we should be storing food and water to last at least 2 to 3 weeks or 2 to 3 months. See, I'm in this thing for the long run, okay? Like I said, it may be beans and rice, but damn it, we gonna eat. African native says the president should send his nonchalant son fighting. He should start jogging with push-ups at Mar-a-Lago. Yeah. And then he said his other son, Eric Trump, the one that looked like Beavis or Butthead or both, he's investing in a Ukrainian drone company. Well, why ever would you be doing that? It said Barron bought $30 million worth of oil 2 days before it jumped off. How true it is, I don't know. But if it's true, I mean, I don't doubt it. I'm just going to say allegedly. It makes sense. We all know that war is for the money, right? Brother Damon, how you doing? Diane says, who has America ever won a war against? They don't win the war anyway. That's true, and they being the United States still contemplating sending troops on the ground. Is like, don't sound like you're gonna be successful there either. That's why they doing all these airstrikes and all this other stuff. Like, yeah, go ahead and send some over there and see what happens. And allegedly, they didn't sent out the bat signal to the sleeper cells up and around here. Depending on what you believe, right? There's reports that the sleeper cells have been cuckoo. That's the activation for the sleeper cells, right? And they supposed to be setting it off. So be careful out there, honestly. Mixed Master Mikey says they have my permission to think and feel however they like. I'm in control. Facts and Feeling says if U.S. destroys China, your local Walmart will immediately come on out, raise prices a whole lot worse than oil prices. $1.99 TV will cost $1,200. Yeah, you can have that TV. I got one. I don't even watch like that. You also say Iranians are spanking that. Yeah, they're not gonna tell that story though. Again, Trump thought I'm the bully. America's the hottest country. It's the hottest country. It's the hottest country. And then Iran say, it ain't hot yet, homie. You think it's hot? You just keep waiting. So there you have it. See, that goes to show you too, the American people are waking up when they're like, yeah, Iran might have their issues or whatever, but we rooting for Iran. Americans are really waking up because back in the day, oh, I need to go over there and help fight. Now people like, kick their ass, Iran. So yeah, interesting times we're living in. Brother Damon says the corporation sold out America a long time ago. Scoop says hopefully some of us are able to pay attention once again. America is changing at the hands of them folks. Now, what we gonna do this time? Best story, food and water. Story, food and water. I'm just telling you, story, food and water. Save your money. Maybe we don't need to go out to eat or go out as much right now. I wouldn't be out there in the streets right now anyway. It's too uncertain. Yeah, Randolph, they killed their spiritual leader and those little girls. They want revenge. It's personal. Yeah. And they appointed the spiritual leader's son as a leader. And Trump and Israel said, well, we don't like that. That's like, we don't give a damn what you like. Ain't nobody taking no opinions of your, no survey of what you like. You don't run this country. So, yeah. It's getting very interesting. Mad Dog says Rich Park, Illinois is 10 miles south of Chicago. It used to be a beautiful south suburban neighborhood. I don't know what it is now, but hopefully to get back to that. Brother Sammy says if when Katrina hit Mississippi, family members were unaliving family members in ice lines. Just imagine if it gets worse, the panicking. I just don't want to be in them lines, to be honest with you. I would rather prepare now. because yeah, people, common sense and civility, they go out the window when you're hungry, when you're thirsty. There is no reasoning with people who are hungry, or you listening to your babies cry because their stomachs are growling because they're hungry. There is no reasoning. I'm leaving with this loaf of bread, okay, by any means necessary. Or I'm leaving with the little 16-ounce bottle of water by any means necessary. So, the best way to avoid that is to avoid that. Prepare. So yeah. Brother Diane says you got three of them things. I got you. I got you. Brother Damon says look on YouTube for making a gravity feed water filtration system, a poor man's Alexa Pure. Okay. I'm gonna look into that. Let's see. Let's see. Renard, what's going on? She says, Dimitri, younger Black Americans are angry at older Black folks for supporting things like vote blue no matter who and open borders, which younger Black generation will suffer. The younger Black generation will take their Black asses to jail behind being fools. That may be true, but you ain't angry enough to put your hands on somebody's grandma in a Walmart parking lot. If you that mad to that degree, you need to go sit yourself down somewhere. Because like I said, she would have called her grandson or somebody. It would have been a different type of conversation. And then they all would be before a judge trying to explain what had happened was. So, yeah, I get it. You're angry, but you don't take it out on people's grandmothers, right? Kevin says Lindsey Graham should be arrested and tried for treason. That's what a lot of people are saying. It's getting interesting. MAGA is getting very interesting. Rose, how you doing? Says that's going to be a unaliving mission if they put troops on the ground. Yeah, they know that, but they think they're going to threaten them. And Iran is like, we're not afraid of y'all. Bring them. Drop them off. If you're froggy, bring them over here. Iran is like, hey, I'll be your huckleberry. That's the true sense of I'll be your huckleberry. Do it. Please. See, United States and Israel wasn't, but as the minister said, don't let Israel drag you into their foolishness. And here we are. So yeah, Bernard, did I say hi to you? Not hello. He says America win the battle, but not the war. Come on now. Arthur, how you doing? Says Epstein files is what fighting is about. It could be. The Iran is so nice, nasty with it. They call them the Trump administration the Epstein regime. The Epstein regime is crazy. That's how they refer to the Trump administration. The Epstein regime. I don't know if y'all saw outside of Washington somewhere in the National Mall somewhere, I don't know. Somebody put up a golden statue of Trump and Epstein. You know how on the Titanic when Rose and Jack were on the edge of the ship and Celine Dion was singing. So they got them a statue of them like that. And one is behind the other, and there's a whole plaque and everything explaining what it is. I'm like, yikes. They're like, well, I don't care what you do. We ain't gonna let you forget about them files, right? Like my feeling said, if you see how Ukraine, they are grabbing men between ages 16 and 60 off the streets, their version of a draft. That is going to happen in the United States if World War III breaks out, which we already are in World War III. Yeah. And Trump said that the draft is not off the table. He's weighing his options. So there will be some sort of forcing going on. Donna says, DK says she's gonna say no with an exclamation point. Okay. I don't think you heard me. Got to. Let's see. Yeah, Brother Thunder, you've been telling everybody for the longest, get your radios. Hopefully everybody's listening, right? Get your radios, because when these cell towers and things go down, you're gonna need to be able to say, hey, this is Big Lady D. Is anybody out there? I need somebody to come get me. Or what's going on out there? You're going to need that. So, yeah, yes, indeed. Albie Chili says, times like these help me to understand why God made my life hard in younger years. Says, I'm used to not having comforts, but most people aren't. And that's the deciding factor. Come on now. Most people, kids nowadays, a lot of them, I should say, all they know is Chick-fil-A. They don't know nothing about no fried chicken. Your mama making you some fried chicken or the hamburgers in the skillet. They eating that kind of stuff. So imagine them having to eat some beans and rice. I don't want to eat that. See, when I was coming up, you gonna eat it or you ain't gonna eat. Not negotiating with no little terrorists around here. You eating what's on the plate, or you go to bed hungry. So you just ate it, whether you liked it or not. You just ate it. I should say most of the time, my parents made things that I liked, except for okra. But yeah, for the most part, I ate everything. I didn't even know that I could say I'm not gonna eat that. What else you got? These kids nowadays, I'm not eating that. Do y'all know that some parents who may have like 2 or 3, 4 kids, and they'll go to 3 or 4 different drive-throughs. Cause one kid won't eat Burger King, one kid won't eat Taco Bell, one kid. So they going to all these drive-throughs to get these little rats something to eat. So let alone talking about you gonna eat some beans and rice again. Ain't no meat. No, ain't no meat. It's beans and rice. I lied. There's beans and rice. So there's 3 ingredients in there. Okay? You gonna eat it or you ain't gonna eat it. And if you don't, there's more for me. So yeah. It's crazy. African Native said, who's the terrorist in this war? You know who it is? It's the big bag bully. See, they got all these narratives going out. Oh, it's them, it's them, it's them. No, it's the usual bully. It's the usual. See, they're used to people tapping out. You know, I don't know what Trump was on. Maybe the orange tan stuff got to his brain, or I don't know what he's on, or Israel. But they somehow knew that the United States would back them, which is why a lot of people are saying, man, what they got on you? What's in them files that we don't know about? Because there's something going on here. Because any and everything they ask for, Trump is like, how much? No, it's not a problem. Because this is the hottest country. We got it. So, yeah. Brian, you say they could do anything they wanted to us if they really wanted to, which is why it's complacent rather for us to always rely on them for everything and not be more paranoid and independent, interdependent, rather. That's why we got to get our thing going. We have to. Brother Thunder says, DK, this is my favorite line. Allow me to speak to you in a manner for which you're more capable of understanding. Yes. Because I was nice the first time. This time I need you to really get it. There'll be no mistake about what I said, okay? No, I didn't hear you. You saw me though. Balcor says buy walkie talkies and flashlights and batteries. Yep, all of that. And Renard says, don't get me wrong. I did not say I agree with it. Okay. Simply saying what I have observed and the attitude towards older Black folks from younger Black folks. Yeah, I mean, I get it. We got to start teaching these youngsters, hey, you need to be respectful. And if you can't be respectful, don't be disrespectful. Okay. If all else fails, do not be disrespectful. Walk away. Right. Brother Samuel says, my mom used to tell us, you'll eat ish if you get hungry enough. Okay. Now me on the other hand, I just gone up the glory. But yeah, point taken though. But a lot of these kids, they just so doggone spoiled. It's crazy. Gold Crown Eyes, how you doing? Says we got food in the fridge. Yeah, that's what we was told. There's food at home. There's spaghetti in there. I used to hate spaghetti when I was coming up. I love it now, but I used to hate it. In my head, I'm like, I don't want to eat that. But I ate it. And when I ate it, it wasn't bad. I just didn't want spaghetti. But I ate the spaghetti because it was what's for dinner. Had some salad on the side and some garlic bread, and you ate it. It was food. It was what it was. So yeah. Silverback Gorilla, how you doing? Denver in the building. How's it going? Education is key. How you doing? It says they're not getting the belt. That's why they do what they do when they do it. Yeah, we should stave off the belt. It should be a last resort, but sometimes you got to get a little tighten up so you can hear what I said the first time, right, Thunder? You didn't hear what I said the first time. Well, maybe this tighten up will make your ears, drain out and you can hear me. So yeah, last resort type of thing. We should parent with our minds and not our hands, but if you need a little tap every now and again, I got that on deck too. So yeah. Uh, Black Butterfly says some of my friends had to cook. Yeah. Um, we all had to cook. But see, I come from the age where you watch your mom and your grandmama or whoever's in the kitchen and they cook. My daughter did the same thing. She watched my mother cook. There's a lot of things that she knows how to make and nobody else knows how to make. My nephew too. They watch my mom cook, so they got some of her recipes. So, but we have to get back in that frame of mind. Hey, come on up in here and see how I'm doing what I'm doing. Make them interested. So, yeah, I know a lot of people have to cook too. You damn sure better have that meat thawed out by the time your parents got home. If that meat wasn't thawed out, gonna be some problems, right? MC Fact says if you can't be respectful, don't be disrespectful. There you go. That's it. Brother Samuel says leftovers was where it was at. Oh, he was eating the leftovers. Some people won't even eat leftovers nowadays. I don't eat leftovers. So what you doing? Wasting food? You bragging about wasting food? You's a dummy. Okay. You're gonna be eating them leftovers now though. I love leftovers. Depending on how long you eat, it was like, okay, we on day 4 with this. That's why I can't really meal prep because I don't really like eating leftovers, but I will eat them, right? I'm not gonna plan to eat leftovers, but if there's food left over, yeah, I'm gonna eat it because they say the season is all up in there, so it's better. But yeah, you was gonna eat the same thing a couple days in a row and love it. And if you didn't, too bad. Candace says half of these parents don't know how to cook, make groceries, or plan a meal. I still make my cornbread from scratch. You know what? My daughter knows how to make that too. I'm telling you, my daughter, she know how to throw down. She really does. Thunder says some of these people words have very little meaning. All they understand is leather and steel, and that's sad. Yeah, we shouldn't have our kids to the point to where, you gotta get your tail toe up because you don't. That's the only thing you understand. Get them to listen the first time. Makiba, what's going on? It says my auntie said there will be times you have to pat your pockets and make like you forgot something. Okay, exactly. So anyway, y'all, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna go start preparing my food because it's almost time for me to eat. Soon as the sun goes down, I'm gonna be grubbing. Okay. So anyway, I love and appreciate every last one of y'all. Y'all come back and see me tomorrow on the African Diaspora News Channel, 11 a.m. Central Time. I'll put a notice up on Facebook and YouTube so y'all can click the link and come over and have another great conversation with me. But in the meantime, hey Tito, how you doing? In the meantime, y'all have a great rest of your day. I love each and every one of you dearly. See y'all tomorrow. Peace.